How you doing, folks? Okay. I thought I'd talk about the seminal soul. How important it is for the male human to have semen for other uses than just pleasure, okay, or reproduction, biological reproduction of a child. It's also important for the soul, as mentioned, okay. Uh, let's say in getting the soul to heaven and supporting the soul once it's in heaven. Semen is called upon to do these things. The god Asar was represented by, and one of his representations was the cow bull. Okay, now Asar, okay, is the god who actually dominated the religious scene in Egypt prior to the coming of Christianity. So he's not that old in terms of his last appearance, let's say, okay? But the regime, the Assyrian regime, was there in Egypt, probably in Africa for thousands and thousands of years, okay? But it ended with the Piscean Age. But anyway, the god was represented by what we say the Ka bull, Ka bull. And this is because the bull was seen as a powerful animal. Okay, powerful thighs, powerful hunch in the shoulders, a powerful animal. He had powerful horns, very hard and powerful. And he was also powerful when it comes to his power of ejaculation. Okay, and this brings us into why the god represented, and why the bull represented the god Asar. It's seminal power, you see. And it was said that the bull was an incarnation of the god. Okay. So, given the power of the bull, it represented, okay, the god Asar for many years, and all the way up until the end of, let's say, even the Roman and the Greek periods. Okay. So semen was looked upon as the support of the God in heaven. It's looked upon as the support of the human soul in heaven. Oh, here in the head. This heaven up here. Okay. So when Asar comes from the underworld, okay, he is seen with his emblems of domination and sovereignty, etc., in his hand. He's coming from the mummy form. And he comes ichthyphalic, okay? The erection, okay? But it took place at the navel, which is a little higher than where it's usually at the navel, indicating, okay, the semen is used as nutrition for the brain and other parts of the body, simply by preserving it, keeping it in the body and raising it up, okay, through various exercises up to the brain and other areas of the body, if desired, through imagination. In other words, you focus on the areas with your imagination. So we see now why the semen aspect was important, okay, in this event. So we also see that there is what we call ka nect. Okay, nect means power. Okay, and then we have the ka, which is associated with the bull, and therefore it is associated with semen. So we say ka nect. Now, ka nect is the directionary and manifesting power of the ka in the human. So now, if folks waste a human, if folks waste, let's say, the semen, then this power declines. And you can see it, okay, in the manifestations of the person in which this happens. They manifest sort of weak, etc. Their reactions are weaker, and so forth. That's due to wasting the semen. Okay. There's a story of Samson and Delilah. It's in the Bible. They even made movies of it, you know. And this is a pretty straightforward example, I would say, of what happens to a man when he wastes his semen. Okay. Now, Samson and Delilah were lovers. And Samson was a powerful man, you know, and he had the support of God. You see, it was Samson who must have been the Philistines, who beat the army of the enemy with the jawbone of an ass, a donkey's jawbone. He beat them. He killed the enemy soldiers with the jawbone of an ass. Now, the ass is also a representative of the sun, okay, which is associated with semen. So, but now Samson, this powerful man, is the lover of Delilah, you see. But she betrays him, okay, and cuts off his hair. The hair represents his power, his seminal power, okay, represented by the hair. Delilah took it. She cut the hair off. In other words, she took his seminal power. This was what happened in love relationships, okay? And also, he was captured by the enemy and put into the dungeon. And then they blinded him, put hot coals to his eyes and blinded him. This blinding Samson represents his loss of perceptual acuity. Mental perception was lost. All this due to the loss of semen. But as time goes by, Samson regained his power while he's in the dungeon. Delilah's not around him, you know, so he lost his semen. He regained his seminal power. Oh, okay. But then it was she who came back to him and led him out of the dungeon, you see, on some festival day, and led him to the two main pillars of the temple, which he pushed against him, tore the temple down. He regained his seminal power. You see what I mean? So the story tells us of how important it is for a man to retain this power. Okay? And that's how that went. And I think that story is pretty straightforward, you see. And so we go back to Osiris. Now, Osiris is called the Bull of the West. Okay? Well, we know the bull. Okay? The bull has a powerful seminal force, powerful ejaculating force. Now, the bull of the West, okay, we're talking about the autumn equinox. That's the West, the autumn equinox, around September 22nd. Yeah. And so, well, the god enters the underworld, you see, and it's dark down there. It's dark down there because after the autumn equinox, the nights become longer than the days. Simple as that. But there in the underworld, all sorts of powers, demons, etc., lurk hidden in the corners and so forth, waiting for the god to come through so that they can take his power and make him non-effective, you know. But the god, as powerful as he is, struggles through the underworld and rises in the eastern, on the eastern horizon in spring, the vernal equinox. Okay, but it was his seminal power that got him through the underworld. So they refer to him as Bull, seminal power of the West, and that's how he got through his seminal power. Okay. So I thought that I would bring this up, in brief, and just to give some idea of how, powerful semen is, and also that semen, okay, is used to support the soul in heaven. Oh, it's used to support our brain, you see, if we don't waste it. Okay. Okay, thanks, folks. I thank you, and subscribe. Subscribe. I have lots more to talk about, and would love to talk about it with you. Okay, thank you very much.